Well, tough story. The Taliban terrorists are taking over provincial Afghanistan capitals almost on a daily basis now. If they take Kabul, the nation's capital, they'll control the whole country. And this cannot be a good development. Joining us now to discuss this and some other things, Alexander Gray, former National Security Council Chief of Staff. Alex, welcome back. I want to talk to you about China investments and some other things, but this Afghan story is now developing into a front-page story in all the papers, and the Taliban, who I regard as terrorists, are taking over all these local capitals. Kabul could be next. What do you think? Should we have left there, or maybe we just did it badly? What do you think?
Well, Larry, I think there's a lot of continuity in the approach of the Biden administration and the Trump administration on the overall question. We need to be out of Afghanistan. We've been there for 20 years, and the future of the United States and its national interests is confronting a rising China. Unfortunately, the way we've gone about this now has created an extraordinary human tragedy, and it's also a great tragedy for American national interests. We're in a position now where, looking around the world, our adversaries are asking whether the United States is going to leave them in the lurch the way we've left our Afghan partners. You look at Taiwan, at Eastern Europe, at the Middle East, and questions are being asked, I think, in ways that are very difficult for us to answer about what the United States would do in similar situations globally. And so the Biden administration has an opportunity now to take a step back, take a look at what's happening in Afghanistan, and to recalibrate its policy in a way that will hopefully bring a little bit of order to a very dangerous situation.
Yeah, Alex, look, your point about weakness, we're sending a message of weakness, is very well taken. That's a good point. It's a tough point. Even in that region, if you will, we don't want to show weakness, let's say, to Iran. It'd be the worst thing in the world. Or to our great ally, Israel. But, Alexander, I know we have limited time, and it's a complex issue, but is there something that we should be doing that we're not doing with respect to this Taliban, victorious movement through the country?
Well, we precipitously decided that we were going to, for instance, take all of our air assets and start operating entirely offshore. And so when the Taliban's operating in their advances across the country, we're calling in airstrikes from as far away as the Persian Gulf. We've pulled out our mechanics and our contractors, who are the ones who kept the Afghan Air Force flying. So we've taken away some of the critical assets that are needed for our partners to stand on their own 2 feet. So I think there's an opportunity now for the Biden administration to say, maybe that was premature, that was precipitant, and let's go back and let's try and give the Afghans the tools they need to make sure that this is an orderly withdrawal, this isn't a rout.
Okay, tough stuff. Let's move on, Alex. Quickly, China versus Taiwan. Now, the Biden administration has done some good things. They've rhetorically expressed support for Taiwan. They've tried to get the G7 leaders to express support of Taiwan. Taiwan is an important American ally. I might say economically, they're the semiconductor center of the world, at least for basic commodity chips and so forth. But then again, we're still the only ones, Alex Gray, we're the only ones selling them arms. Mike Pillsbury, distinguished scholar, has mentioned that. China is very provocative with their military, testing and so forth. So are we any closer to a Chinese invasion of Taiwan, in your judgment?
Well, Larry, I think what we're seeing now is the Chinese are probing for weakness. They're looking at what's going on in Eastern Europe and what the Russians are doing. They're looking at some of the signals that have been sent about our defense budget, which hasn't been reassuring at all. Particularly now you look at, with inflation, we're looking at probably a flat defense budget. And the Chinese are very attuned to things like that. And so I think the trend lines are not positive for peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait as long as we continue on this path. What I'm very hopeful for, though, Larry, is that we're going to get to a point where Taiwan is building up its own defenses with American help. Some of the policies from the Trump administration expanded Taiwan's military in a very positive way, and I know you were involved in some of the economic expansion of ties, which is incredibly important. So I think if we can get through this window of danger of the next couple of years, and we can start showing more commitment to Taiwan's defense and more American leadership globally, I think we can get to a point where we can build that calm and we can build that stability across the strait for the long term.
Last one, Alex. I've got a little less than a minute. Hundreds of billions of dollars have been lost this year in Chinese investments with their public companies. The Chinese government, the communist government, is cracking down. They're over-regulating. They're pulling IPOs out from under. I know we all worked on that, you and me, Robert O'Brien, and so forth. It looks like that story is getting worse.
It's getting immeasurably worse. And the same conceit that led the West to believe that China was going to become a democracy led the West and American companies to think that China was going to be a market economy. And the truth is, as you know, Larry, the only voice that matters in China is the Communist Party. And the Communist Party cares about one thing. They care about regime survival. And so whenever a company is operating in China, they have to understand the only thing that matters to the Chinese Communist Party is whether that company is fulfilling the Communist Party agenda. And that means that American investors are always going to be at risk of Xi Jinping waking up in the morning and deciding they're on his bad side. And we have to, companies and investors have to understand that.
Yep, wrong direction, wrong way, and U.S. investors, you know, caveat emptor. That's it. Alexander Gray, former Chief of Staff to the National Security Council, thanks very much for your comments.